and I want to say welcome for joining us for this movement-wide leadership call. We started this toward the ends of last year, and we felt this is a great way of staying connected, sharing updates on JCC associations, evolving work, our priorities, and our offerings in service of JCCs and JCC camps. We hope you continue to see them as a meaningful touch point for staying informed, engaged, and connected across our network. Before we dive in, I just want to say to everybody a belated Happy New Year. As we enter here 2026, I hope this new year ahead brings energy, purpose, and moments of meaning, but that you and your respective communities lead forward and continue to enhance, strengthen, and grow within your respective organizations. So I'd like to begin with really a brief reflection of our recent JCC Association board meetings that were held just last week. It was an engaging and important moment for our organization, marked by the board's approval of our new strategic framework, which we are calling Hazon, Vision 2030. What has been thoughtful visioning is now a clear roadmap guiding how we get direction, make decisions, and move forward together in service of JCCs and JCC camps. And I'm excited for Barak to share more about this in his update. But I will tell you, there was a strong sense of momentum in our room, along with deep appreciation for the leadership of our professional team and for the partnership that defines this movement. Today also invites us to look ahead. We're very close to announcing our next J Summit planned for spring 2027, which will be another powerful opportunity for a shared experience rooted in relationship, learning, and peoplehood. More to come very soon. So with that as a backdrop, thank you for your leadership, your partnership, what you do each and every day. And now I'm very pleased to turn it over to Barak Hermann, President and CEO of JCC Association, so we can make the most of our time together. Barak?
Great. Thank you, David. Hopefully everybody can hear me fine. Thank you all for joining us today. I have 26 minutes to try to fill you in on the last 8 to 10 weeks of work at JCC Association to really support all of you as a JCC movement. So thank you very much to everybody. We're going to start, Joanne, with the slides. This is really been a labor of love for this, our strategic framing task force, members of the board of directors. This work is a collective summary of all the stakeholder interviews, my 6 months of onboarding into my role, a lot of listening with funders to develop a roadmap, a strategic direction, to make sure that we know where we're headed to support all of our JCCs across the continental movement. We have called it Hazon 2030 as a vision, and it is all about building out our 3 centers of excellence: talent, peoplehood, and innovation impact. And if you look at this slide, it just really reminds me just about the depth and reach and impact of our movement. These 3 centers are not just concepts, they will be operating frameworks as I go out and meet with funders starting next week and the following weeks to really talk to the major leading Jewish foundations about the work that we need to do across the JCC movement. We have 148 JCCs and JCC camps. If you could just go back to that for a moment, represented here inside the movement. I'm learning a lot about our military families across North America. And what I've come to really recognize is that each JCC is very unique to their neighborhood, but our commitment to advancing Jewish identity, Jewish peoplehood, supporting our early childhood centers, supporting our camps, supporting new programming that really invigorates a sense of Jewish pride is critical. So when you look at this map, you see a movement. But our movement also in different cities goes through different times of concern and struggle. I really just want to acknowledge what's happening right now, for example, in the state of Minnesota. It is a very challenging time for our leadership of our JCC of Minnesota. Ross Siegel is on the call, and Stephanie Chouse, the excellent CEO, as they navigate a lot at their St. Paul and Minneapolis campuses. And I just want to thank them for their leadership and what they're balancing. Stephanie shared with me a third of the membership of one of their campuses in the evening is of the Somalian community. These types of moments really tug at our Jewish values, tug at our business practices, our safety and security. But when I've said when one thing's happening in another community, we should all feel it and understand it. So as we watch the news in our home, I always think about the JCC that's in that community. So Stephanie and Roz, I know you're dealing with a lot, and thank you for leading with your Jewish values and your heart. And when we think about a movement, I just want to remind us about the impact that we are collectively making across North America. For Jews, 90% of Jews say that are members of the JCC say that their JCC or their camp contributes to the overall community's well-being. 73% report a deeper Jewish identity because of their JCC. And you can see on and on the data here. 77% of Jews that were unaffiliated said that after October 7th, it was the JCC that connected them to their Jewish community and their identity. And we also do incredible work with the larger community, the larger universal community, and people of other faiths to bring our Jewish values and our moral compass to our communities. And you can see right there that 45% of people of other faiths feel because of the JCC, they've gained an understanding of shared values with Jews. And this is the type of data that I'm going to be using to represent all of you when I go out and do my best to advance the Chazon vision framework for our field. So just be really proud of the work we are doing. These three centers are going to be built out. They will define our work. They will define our structure. We want to deepen Jewish connection. We want to build talent programs, and we need to build more abilities to collect data. This is going to require multi-millions of dollars of investment. The money is out there, but we needed a plan and we needed a framework. And your ability to sign on as one of the supporters of our movement gives me the ammunition to say we have 148 Jewish communities across North America supporting us. So I really want to thank all of you for affiliating, believing in this new framework. And we're going to keep on adding more and more value to support all of you in your work. As we move forward here, one of the first things we had to do was also address our offices in New York. We had 30,000 square feet that had not been renovated. That was way too costly for our budget since the early 2000s. Just last week, we moved into a new offices in the same building and took half the amount of square feet to reduce our expense by almost 50%. But we didn't want just new offices. We are calling it a merkaz, which is the Hebrew word for center. This is where we hope and will bring JCC professionals and lay leaders from across the movement to New York to learn together, to collaborate. We've put in state-of-the-art technology. We hope to host many of our fellowship programs. But also the idea will be that we will take a lot of our programming from the Merkaz, from the center in New York, to regional JCCs to bring talent programs. We'll also bring it to different regions, and we'll also do things virtually. But our new offices in New York will be a dynamic environment for our professionals and lay leaders to gather, share ideas, and collaborate, and also maybe have a great New York City experience as well. This was our dedication last week at our board meetings. The night before we opened it up to the entire community, we bestowed the honor on David Wax, our chair of the board, to hang a mezuzah. We celebrated the new space, but I think the space, just like our JCCs, when it's new and relevant, signified a new era and a new time for the JCC Association for North America to support all of you. As we move forward in this deck, you'll see the next slide. We are also evolving an executive team. I was blessed to inherit an incredible team of professionals that are really working around the clock. The days are long. We have teams in Israel. We have teams on different time zones. But I felt around me I needed to build out an executive team that will support, the work of our current team as I travel a lot to represent our movement. We knew about Rabbi Daniel Septimus, who will join us in July, the CEO of the Shalom Austin. Deanne Foreman, I announced last week, is returning to JCCA. She was the director of the Benchmarking Excellence Project 20 years ago. She went on to the Kaplan JCC to be the chief operating officer, to the Riverdale Y as their executive director, and brings 2 decades plus experience of a JCC work in leadership. And I have personally worked with Deanne and know that her skills are really ready and bode well for this moment to lead all of our data collection and our innovation strategies. We welcomed Carrie Lipton from the 92nd Street Y as our new Chief Financial and Administrative Officer. And I was so honored to get to know Annette when I started in July, and we have promoted Annette to be Chief of Staff. And so this is an evolving executive team to lead the JCC Association of North America. And we are launching next week a search for a Chief Advancement Officer, someone who will be one of our chief storytellers to help us raise all the resources we need to support all of you. So please know that job will be posted next week. If you know people that are very skilled and successful in development, fundraising, legacy giving, endowment raising, but really a caring person who has relationship skills, please send them my way. And we'll see if they're the right person. But we are continuing to grow a leadership team to support our current amazing team at JCC Association. I'm really excited in our Center for Talent Development. Next week will be our MIFGOSH Executive Conference. We're up to 132 CEOs and senior executives representing over 90 JCCs. It is an amazing opportunity. We have 9 JCC global communities. If you can just go back 1 second to that. And I really wanted to thank the planning committee. Everything we do is by the field and for the field. And we have over 20 CEOs who have been generously offering time weekly and in meetings to help plan this gathering. So we still have some spots open. We'll be in Atlanta. And thank you to my colleague and friend, Jared Powers, CEO of the Marcus JCC, and Janelle, I think it's the Chief Advancement Officer there, if I'm getting her title correct, who have been outstanding hosts. And we're excited to showcase the Marcus JCC in a week and a half. I'm also excited to share in our Center for Talent Development our new class of JCC CEOs. This is a pretty incredible group. Many I've known a very long time. Some I grew up with in camp, like Sue Gelsey as a little kid, and others I've been colleagues with a long time. This is an incredible group of CEOs, first-time JCC and JCC camp directors. A number of them have been part of the JCC field for a long time. This is their moment to lead their communities, and others have entered the field from other either Jewish federations, like Todd Polikoff. Others have come from different areas, and we really welcome them to our movement. And my big shout out goes to the newest member of the group, Jeremy Weiser, Chief Executive Officer now of the Memphis JCC, who just a couple of weeks ago accepted that position. So congratulations to this outstanding group. We also have a couple of regional JCC conferences coming up, and we are really excited to support them. I think a big part of our association now is to not always to lead, but to partner and to support communities in their work. There is the New England Regional Conference, March 17th to 18th at the JCCs of the Capital Region. Thank you to my colleague, David Posner, for leading the charge and hosting at the Albany and Schenectady campus. And then the Mid-Atlantic Regional Conference, one that is close to my heart for over almost 20 years, will be March 23rd to 24th at the Siegel JCC in Delaware. And thank you to Ivy Harlev for her leadership of her JCC for hosting these regional conferences. The ability to constantly connect professionals to each other, I think, is probably our movement's greatest gift. So between ProCon, MIFGOSH, regional conferences, and cohort learning, connecting people to each other is absolutely critical. I'm really excited about our current Marin Fellow group. These are 15 professionals representing JCCs who just returned from Israel. Some of our current CEOs were former Marin Fellows. Big shout out to Paul Laurie from Baltimore. So just when you look at this list here, this is also the pipeline. These are people that one day will be growing and leading our JCCs, and we need to continue to nurture them and support them because hopefully many of them will stick it out and lead JCCs one day. But in the meantime, they do incredible work invigorating their teen and youth programs at their respective JCCs. I'm really excited about this as well. I guess I'm excited about a lot of things today. But today is I'm going to share with you that the Marcus Foundation has bestowed upon us a grant of $3.9 million for the next 3 years to continue to connect Jewish military families that are across the United States with JCC resident camps. But the big excitement is that they have now given us resources to expand it to JCC day camps. So those JCC day camps that are in the regions where there are military bases and there are Jewish families, we are now going to be able to offer, I think it's fully funded, both resident and day camping for Jewish families and their children. And so we will be reaching out to those JCCs that are close to these bases from the DC area to San Diego and across the country. But really a big shout out to our Jewish Welfare Board team led by Rabbi Larry Bazer and Dossie, and to Annette McCann and others that raise this kind of money that will really help us to continue to connect our military families to the JCC movement. So it's a real exciting program. JCC Camps of North America. I know that I'm a product of Jewish camping, and I could probably say that I wouldn't be in this role if I didn't grow up in the URJ, which was back then the UHC camping movement. I believe very deeply and strongly that the JCC Association needs to have a camping department and get back into supporting our camps. We are the largest camping platform in North America. We have 25 resident camps. I think we have over 150 day camps. We are unmatched. I think we're like 68 to 70% of the Jewish camping world is the JCC movement. And I am committed to having a team to support our day camps, to support our resident camps, from conferences to fundraising to capital support, to make sure that we have the leadership team that is championing our camping movement, working with the Foundation for Jewish Camping, the Grinspoon 180 initiative. But I believe that we need to do disciplined planning before we do disciplined action. And before we just start to recruit people to work in a camping department, we have to define what our role is vis-a-vis all these other camping organizations, American Camping Association included. So we're forming a JCC Camps of North America task force. I'm very excited to announce that Ed Atkins of Chicago, former chair of Camp Shy, and Brad Stillman, former chair of the Capitol Camps, have agreed to co-chair our task force. We are involving executives from across the field, day camp leadership, other leadership. Thank you also to my colleague, Mark Shapiro, CEO of the Milwaukee JCC, for his leadership already, helping me think this through, as well as Rabbi Bill Kaplan from the Shalom Institute. But we're going to create a pretty robust schedule over the next 6 months to have a plan by June so we can start to support camps in a whole new manner starting this summer and fall. So coming soon, but this is a very important area for the organization to double down on. Here's another partnership opportunity that was created similar to what I described of the JCC.
Don't need too much though.
If we can get everybody on mute. Thank you. As I said earlier, where do we lead? Where do we partner? I believe we should be leading in camping. I believe that we should be leading in Jewish family engagement. And in other cases, we partner. When JCC CEOs come to us and say, how can you be helpful to us? A real big shout out to David Miller, executive of the Safra Center, to Leonard Petlock, a JCCA board member and CEO of the Kings Bay Y, and Ori Lender, the CEO of the JCC of Staten Island, who came to me almost 10 months ago saying they wanted to pull off a New York Jewish Teen Summit after they had participated in the Brandeis seminar about how to help teens think about combating anti-Semitism, how to help Jewish teens across New York feel a greater sense of Jewish pride. We are pulling it off. We have raised substantial funds together. We're going to have hundreds of teens coming together on March 1st. And we're going to evaluate this program because this could be a program that we bring to other communities. This is the first I've ever heard of, a New York Jewish Teen Summit. So thank you to Rabbi David Kessel from the Mandel Center, who is one of our senior vice presidents, for working with Leonard, David, Orit, and the committee. And we have a committee of teens. We have Rachel Fish involved, if some of you know Rachel, I'm sure. But here's another example of how we work together to bring innovative new programming to our Jewish communities. We had a call about a week, excuse me, a week ago about our movement-wide leadership experience. I really need to encourage all of you. We had a great turnout for the call that we were hoping to have 2 buses represent our movement June 24th to July 22nd for an Israel Resilience and Renewal, a movement-wide leadership experience. I have participated on probably more than half a dozen Israel experiences with our Center for Israel Engagement, led by the incredible Leah Garber and Sarah Sless and the team. Any of us that have participated in these seminars know that each one is unique, each one is customized, and I would really love for all of us to think about attending. I really encourage execs to come with their board chairs. It is an incredible time to be away from your communities together, be in Israel, experience Israel, walk the streets, be with the people. And I would encourage many of you to think about coming in this at this time. You'll meet cutting edge speakers. We're going to be meeting with President Herzog. We'll be going up north to hear about the issues up on the northern side of Israel with Lebanon. It will infuse you with not just a love of Israel, but a real understanding of the political challenges, the social challenges, cultural challenges, the nuances that go on. But our job is to be a proudly Zionistic movement, and I encourage as many of you to join us. So David Wax, our chair of the board, Lisi Gottdenker, our next chair, and myself, we encourage you to join us. Pricing will be coming out next week, and I think it will be an incredibly impactful experience for whoever joins us in June. And we will also end our trip at the opening ceremonies of the World Maccabi Games. Last summer, the games were canceled for the first time since, I think, 1909 due to the war with Iran. The Maccabi Games, probably after the Olympics and the Pan American Games, is the world's largest sporting event. And it will be an incredible opportunity to end our experience on July 1st at the opening ceremonies, seeing Jewish athletes from, I think, over 80 countries. So please think about joining us for this trip. We also are launching our more programs within our JCC Israel Academy. I encourage you to participate in this program, share it with your membership, your staff, maybe have a watch party at your JCC. How come Israel is such a happy place when it's sometimes so under attack? Joel Chazanoff is a very well-known, he's been around, pretty incredible comedian. He's a former IDF soldier, and I think it can be a great program. Maybe things that my colleagues can consider to bring into a staff meeting and follow the staff meeting with some discussion. But there's a lot to learn about how Israel maintains such a positivity under such duress all the time. So thank you to our team for creating those programs. We are launching another new partnership with M Squared, which is the Institute for Experiential Jewish Education, which does cutting edge. I've met with their leadership. I'm kind of blown away at the work that they're doing to make Jewish values very relevant, exciting, and dynamic. And we're doing this program called Values in Action, helping JCC professionals respond to the issues of today, but through timeless Jewish values. How to think about the things that we're wrestling with in our communities, domestic issues, international issues, political issues, through a Jewish lens. So this is going to be hosted at the Dell JCC Shalom Austin campus. It is convening the Texas JCCs. So we had a New York City event. Now we have a Texas event. And thank you to Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio for partnering to this together. And thank you to Rabbi Daniel Septimus and the Shalom Austin team for hosting it. We had a robust application process this year for the Marvin Pear Israel Fellowship. I think we had over 30 applicants for 16 spots. This is not a program that we want to turn people away, especially when professionals want to engage with Israel at this time, deepen their own understanding of the issue so they can better work with the constituents inside their JCC. We will be announcing the cohort of 15 next week. Thank you to Andy Mizell, our outstanding Pear Fellowship Director. Thank you also to Rachel and Jonathan Hoffer for their funding of this program, named in honor of Rachel's father, Martin Pear. I'm really sorry that we are turning away people, and this is another example of the funding we need to raise so we can have 2 classes at the same time, not 1. And as I learn more and more about these opportunities, it gives me the storytelling to go out to funders. So congratulations to the new cohort that will be announced. And I just wanted to acknowledge to my colleagues who could be disappointed that some of their people weren't accepted. Just know that we know that this is a priority to get to be able to offer additional cohorts. Benchmarking in the Center for Innovation and Impact is open. I believe as a JCC executive, if you're not measuring it, you're not managing it. And so benchmarking gives you really data to understand how your business is doing. How does it do with other like-sized JCCs? I encourage you to participate in benchmarking. If you're a new executive and not sure what it is or how to maximize it, or should you do it, reach out to me, reach out to Deanne Foreman, reach out to Morgan Weiss, reach out to one of your colleagues. There was never a year that I'd never participated in benchmarking in my years as a JCC exec. The data will be rich and important, and I'm really confident with Deanne Foreman's leadership now that we're also going to aggregate that data into some really powerful storytelling for the movement. We're also launching a 2025 JCC Movement Workforce Survey. This is a result of many people wanting to know, post the pandemic, 4 or 5 years later now, how many employees work at JCCs? What are the salary comparisons? What are the benefit comparisons? So I hope that all of you will, participate in this survey. And results will come soon, and we'll be sharing them out into the field. But I know that this data becomes very rich in terms of helping us think about compensation analysis, benefits, and other things in local JCCs. And our next movement call, David, I think this is your announcement. And I'm right on track, by the way. It's 1:30. So David, bring us to a close.
Thank you, Barak, and thank you to all of you for being part of our call today. We appreciate the time and attention. These are the touch points, a little bit of the boom, 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 and the nuggets that Barak shared. But we'll be following up with this meeting with the recording and slides for all of you so you can revisit the information as we showed. The next call will be on Thursday, March 19th. And then I just want to say to all of you as well, besides thank you, that Barak and I will be hanging out for another few minutes to answer any questions or follow-ups on any issues you have. So thank you to all of you for joining us. And with that, we release you to your regularly scheduled program.